late 80s, I was initially promoted into a sales role, working for a company headquartered on the East Coast. It was essentially a startup. My college degree had been in finance, and so naturally my first job out of college was in finance, and I really didn't enjoy it at all. I was good at it, but it wasn't exciting, it wasn't really fun. And I got a job working for this company in a finance role, but under the umbrella of the sales organization. And in that role, I was doing order entry of all their contracts that would generate billing. In addition, it would generate commissions. And I got a sense that there were a number of salespeople making a lot of money. Not only that, I became friends with some of those salespeople, and I knew that I could do what they were doing. So I launched a campaign with my boss's boss, who was the VP of sales, that said, hey, I'm gonna be your next sales rep. I can vividly remember the day the senior vice president of sales walked into my cubicle and said, Julie, I have an opportunity. I'm gonna put you in an account representative role. And I was so excited. And then that excitement quickly turned to panic. I felt my hands get clammy. I felt the butterflies in my stomach, and I thought, oh my gosh, I am put in a role that I don't know anything about. I don't know how to sell. I've been begging for this job, and holy cow, I have it. Now what am I gonna do? So I realized that through that process, I had to go get some formal training. The company that I worked for wasn't equipped to provide training at that point, but they were equipped to allow me to go find a program that made sense. And I went and found one. And I literally spent a week in a conference room in Boston, learned some basic sales tactics and sales skills. The practice that we did in that workshop was selling a pencil, which then compounded my panic. Because I don't sell pencils. Picture this, I am a 26-year-old young professional. My target buyers were all at least 20 years older than me. They all lived in technology. I didn't know anything about technology. I was scared to death. I had imposter syndrome. And I learned through that process that it was more important to focus on them than to focus on me. And that started to fuel my sales success. I joined Value Selling 22 years ago, and Value Selling Associates and the Value Selling Framework, which is our flagship product, is the world's best sales methodology, in my opinion. It is applicable to all B2B sales organizations that are struggling to differentiate their offering, uncover the value, motivate their buyers, and win more than they lose. I made the decision we were gonna build a program specifically for the individual, for the solopreneur, the sales person who happens to be a subject matter expert, but never has been taught in sales. So we created Growist with that particular user in mind. It's comprehensive. It covers all of the best practices that we've learned from our enterprise clients, but focuses on how the individual can build systems and processes and tools for them to fuel their business, not someone else's. The first course is called Stop Selling, Start Solving. We intentionally named it that because the best salespeople solve real problems for customers. We've built an 11-module program that covers that entire life cycle. And each of those programs is chunked into 2 or 3 lessons. Each lesson has tools and interactive exercises and job aids so that the individual, whether you're selling yourself as a virtual assistant or an architect, or you're selling a real product, translate the principles and the process that we're teaching to your real world. That's what was missing in my first training. I had to figure out the gap between what they were teaching me and how I would apply it in the real world. We are providing that bridge embedded in our product to help you translate the practical tips, tools, and processes and skills in your conversations with your target buyers to maximize your success. So many entrepreneurs, they hate selling. They're afraid of rejection. They have the same imposter syndrome that I experienced in my career, and that fear holds them back. If we can help them overcome that fear with skills, competence, and confidence, they're gonna light the world on fire, however big or small their world is, and be more successful at engaging clients. My passion over the last 20 years at Value Selling has been to inspire individuals to achieve more than they ever thought were possible.